Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk about the one main reason why the law of attraction does not work for many people. Actually, it doesn't work for most people. It does work in the sense that they're getting the things in their life that they're attracting, but it doesn't work for them. It's not doing what they want it to do. And this is the thing. I'm going to give you a verse. It's a very common verse, very, very well known. People love it, but they ignore an important part of it. It's Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." And I want you to think about something in this verse here. An expected end. See, many people are affirming, and they're visualizing, and they're doing all these things, but they don't have an expected end. Meaning, they don't really believe in the end they're going to get what they're speaking out, what they're visualizing. It's just a hope to them. It's just a dream. It's one of those things like, oh, I would love to win the lottery. Or I'd love to come into hundreds of millions of dollars. Or any of these things that no one really has any intention of doing anything about. No one expects to actually have happen in their lives. But they would like it to happen. They would certainly welcome it. But they don't really believe. And this is the key. Jesus said in Mark 11:22, have faith in God. That's the key. You have to have faith that what you are believing for, what you've spoken out in faith and believed, you will have. As Jesus said, all things are possible to him that believeth. If you believe and you have faith, you'll get those things. You'll have an expected end. But so many people simply don't really expect the end result to happen that they want. Oh, they would love for it to happen, of course, but they don't really believe. And this is one of those things that maybe sometimes you got to step back. Now, I'm always about going big and believing big, great, glorious things. But if you're going to have no faith, you're going to be walking in doubt and unbelief, you'd be better off having a smaller goal that you're believing for, that you can have faith for, than to have some big thing. Because a lot of people go into things and they go, well, I need to think big. So right now they're making $50,000 a year. Well, I'm going to believe for $1 million a year. How? You might get to $1 million a year, but to go from 50,000 to $1 million a year is probably not going to happen. What if you said, I'm going to double. I'm going to go 50 to 100,000. You could even go 10 times and say, I'm going to go 50 to 500,000. But it has to be, whatever it is, something you can believe. And the reality is the gap of faith needed between 50,000 a year and $1 million a year is very great. Now, it's nothing for God, and you absolutely could do it. But the reality is, if your faith right now is only for 50,000 a year, because obviously that's your results, to go from 50,000 to $1 million a year is probably not going to happen. And what you do is you depress yourself and you crush your own faith and you push yourself into unbelief by setting goals that you can't believe for. Now listen, I don't care if you're making $5 a year. If you can have the faith and you can confidently believe and stand full of firm faith for $1 million a year, go for it. But if you do that, and all that visualization and affirming does is brings more attention for you to the fact that you don't have $1 million, the fact that you're only earning 50,000 a year, the fact you've never earned $1 million a year, the fact you never even earned 100,000 a year, the fact you never earned $250,000 a year, then that's not working for you. Because you can use affirmations, visualization, all these things against yourself. And this is a self-sabotage thing that many people do. They don't even realize they're doing it. And I ask people sometimes, well, do you think this is self-sabotage? Well, no. They immediately say no, and they don't even think about it one bit. Meanwhile, self-sabotage isn't you purposely sabotaging yourself. That could happen, I guess. But the reality is 99.9% of the time, it's things going on in your underlying operating system of your subconscious mind giving you the thoughts and the formulations and the reasoning for why you do certain things, leading you to failure, leading you to self-sabotage. So some people, what they do is they go, okay, I'm going to visualize, I'm going to do affirmations, and they're in that $50,000 a year range, and they're going to go for $1 million. But the reason is not because they want $1 million, not because they have any faith for it, but it is their subconscious mind setting themselves up for failure. So then, when it doesn't happen, because they don't have faith for it, and they're never going to believe for it at this current point, current situation they're in, then they can say, oh, see, that affirmation stuff doesn't work. Oh, see, that visualization stuff, that doesn't work. Oh, see, that law of attraction stuff doesn't work. And so it's another way they can cocoon themselves in with what they're comfortable with, what the subconscious mind is comfortable with, which is what they currently have. Because you got to understand, your subconscious mind, for the most part, is trying to keep you alive and at a homeostasis point, meaning a level out point. Not too much, not too little, just right where you are. But that's not where most people want to go. How could you have faith for just what you are? There's no faith needed for that. You already have that. You already are that. But to become different, that starts churning some stuff in your subconscious mind that doesn't like, because there's unpredictability. Because there is now, well, I don't know if going to this path to $1 million a year is going to harm me or bring me worse results. Just be comfortable where I am. So let's set a big goal, one that we know we won't reach, one we know we won't believe for. That way, when it all comes crashing down, we fail miserably, we give up, we'll still be where we are, and we can confidently say, well, that stuff doesn't work. And it's pure self-sabotage. My friend, I have to stress this. You need to dream big. You need to believe for big, great, glorious things. Don't limit yourself. But also don't set yourselves up for failure. Set yourself up for misery. Set yourself up for things not working because you're purposely structuring them in a way to guarantee your failure. And some of the other things is people go, well, I want $1 million a year, but they're believing for more money. What does that mean? You could find a penny on the street and you now have more money. You need to be confident and definite about what you want and have real faith for it. These vague, generic things that people have, well, I want more money. Well, here's $1. There you go. You got more money. There's a penny in the ground. Now you have more money. But that's not what you really want. These are just programs people are following to push themselves away from these things that are going to work for them, away from these things that will bring them great success, away from these things that will bring them great wealth and riches and power by faith in Jesus Christ. But they won't do that because they'll purposely, and of course it's not consciously done, they're not thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to fail miserably. I know what I'll do. I'll set my goals too big. I'm going to be a trillionaire. Well, I'm making $20,000 a year now, but I'll be a trillionaire. Well, it didn't work. See, I tried. I really believed I was going to be a trillionaire, and I visualized it, but it didn't happen. Well, yeah, it hasn't happened for you. It hasn't happened for anyone as of this point in time. But you didn't want that anyway. That wasn't what you really wanted. That was something you set out to create a bar so high that you could never reach it, and then you can fall back to your mediocrity and say, well, see, that doesn't work. You need to have an expected end. But that expected end needs to be something you can truly, confidently believe for. That you can walk by faith and not by sight. You have no doubt. You're not wavering. You're not tossed to and fro. And that could be anything. It could be $1 billion. You could be at $50,000 a year and you can believe for $1 billion because you have full, confident faith. You've worked out those subconscious programs that have hindered you and limited you and caused you to self-sabotage. And you're truly ready to go to that next level and go many, many times ahead to great success. But if you know when you start going for those bigger things like that, and all they're doing is bringing you resistance and misery and, well, I don't have that, and wanting more, instead of believing and being full of faith and confident in your faith, then you got to purposely think about this redirect to something you can believe for, and go from there. Now, it may not take you very long. You may build up and say, you know what? I'm earning $50,000 a year. I'm going to earn $100,000 a year. I have full faith in that. And then you do it, and you might do that in a month. You might already do that. And then the road to that million is very short. But sometimes you need some goals in between to get you to that big goal. And that way you don't extinguish your faith and you don't push yourself into doubt and unbelief, to which you'll never get what you want. So my friend, I want to encourage you today. Have an expected end. Truly look for what you want to happen, and then you stand confident in your faith in God, and you will receive whatsoever you saith. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.